All right, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be looking at K9 Fiendsmith post Dune. I think this deck gets a lot better with Nori, and then Jax is also another interruption. I still don't think it's like a tier 0 deck or anything like that, or tier 1. I would say maybe tier 2. It's a really good deck. It ends on a lot of interaction. It's still a little bricky though, and you have to play a lot of non-engine in it, which can be a benefit, but can also lead to bad hands. But it's really fun to play, and you kind of plus off interactions with your opponent. So looking at the deck profile, we have one Nib, the one Fiendsmith Engraver. You could boost this up to 2, but I feel like 1's really all you really need in this. If it gets Bestialed, it's kind of unfortunate, but just for consistency's sake, I'm just playing the 1. We have the 2 Lupus, and again, you could only play 1 Lupus. I just like having the constant recursion in case something happens with the Lupus on field and it gets banished, but you can very much switch one of these Lupuses out for the second Engraver. We have the 3 Nori. This card is great. This card's crazy. It's an Ice Razio, basically. It special summons a K9 monster from the deck, and then you can send a face-up K9 card to the graveyard to look at your opponent's hand. So it's kind of like an Ice Razio mixed with a Deep Sea Minstrel. But yeah, this card's great. It's really your only normal summon. It's your best normal summon. Getting to this card is kind of one of the top priorities of the deck. After that, we have our 3 Azuna. Turn 0 plays. This card's great. Like I said, I think everybody kind of knows what this card does by now, but it lets you summon itself if your opponent activates a card effect in the hand or the graveyard, and then you can dump Lupus, bring the Lupus back, and then quick effect rank up into or quick effect Xyz into a rank 5. After that, we have our 3 Lupus. In my opinion, this is the best starter in the deck. This searches your normal summon, and it just lets you extend so much farther. So seeing this plus another level 5 is full combo, and it's just a great card. And then on top of all that, it is also a Rhoda to search another K9 monster that's not himself. So definitely, in my opinion, the best card in the deck. After that, we have our 2 Lantern. Again, playing 2 just because you want the follow-up, you want the recursion. This deck doesn't have a lot of ways to get stuff out of the graveyard besides this card, so I like to run this at 2 just for the clapback on turn 3 if you start, or turn 4 if you didn't start, for those grind games. After that, we're playing just the 1 Lacrima. You only need the 1. You can play it up more if you want some extra normal summons, but she just doesn't do a lot by herself. The K9 engine cannot, the Fiendsmith engine cannot bridge into the K9 engine the way the K9 engine can bridge into the Fiendsmith. So Nori is going to be your better normal summon by far. After that, we're playing 3 Fua and then 3 Perulia. This deck really wants to draw. The more cards you have in your hand, the better. Which I guess that's every deck, but this deck really explodes when you have more cards in your hand. It gives you a lot more pushes. And I feel like they're kind of must plays right now. You could side deck one or the other, but I think they're great. I mean, worst case too, if you brick on them, just passing with 2 Charmies in hand is not the worst place to be. Especially since you can go turn 0 plays with the Azuna, or you can play on your opponent's turn with the Azuna. After that, we're running the 3 Ash Blossom. This lets you counter the Obedience School, engage, the Azuna dump if your opponent does it, so they can't rank up. It lets you Ash the Charmies, so pretty great in this format. After that, we have the 1 Lurry. It's an engine requirement. But, worst case, if you have to normal summon it, it's not the worst. After that, we have the 3 Chaotic Elements. This card's great. It searches your Lantern or your Jokel to help you push farther. And then if you have 3 Aqua or Pyro monsters in the graveyard, you get a non-target pop, which definitely comes up and a lot of people don't know what this card does. They don't know it pops. So you can get a lot of surprise factor off of this. Other than that, if this card's in the graveyard, you can banish it to take control of a light pyro monster your opponent controls. So that means you can steal a detonator. Can't think of any other opportunities to use the banish effect, but if you get it to resolve, it's awesome. After that, we're playing the one tracked. Again, you could boost this up to 2 if you wanted to, if you want to have more targets. But I think playing the smaller Fiendsmith engine is the better way to go. So we are running the one tracked in case we draw the engraver. After that, we have the K9 LC release restraint. I know a lot of decks don't play this card, but this card is great. This card, especially with Jax, this card lets you OTK, or OTK out of nowhere. If you rank up to a Jax, attack with the Jax, rank up in the battle phase to the werewolf. The werewolf now has 3 materials. It does double damage and it can attack 3 times. So you can do like 20,000 damage out of nowhere. So this card's great. Like I said, this one doesn't, the force release doesn't let you use in the battle phase, but the release restraint can happen at any point. It also, you can rank up any rank 5 into a K9 rank 5 or rank 9. So if you pass turn on a Nash Knight, you can rank it up into a Ripper to search your engine to get your game going. After that, we have the X-Force release. This is going to be a rank up spell as well. This one is main phase only, but you get the non-target pop. So usually you want to go into this, pop something, or use this, pop something, go into the werewolf, and then rip a card with the werewolf. After that, we have the 30 a case for K9. This lets you search any K9 monster, so great combo extender or a great starter if you have nothing else. We're playing the one Paradise. Super big brick in this deck, but it's really the only brick. We don't have a lot of ways to discard, so if you draw it, it's kind of just stuck in your hand. But it's kind of a requirement in this deck. You need it for that interaction point. It makes Fiendsmith a lot better. After that, we have the 3 Imperm and then just the 1 Talents. This Talents can be a called by, it could be something else. These Imperms can be Droplet, whatever non-engine you want to play. After that, for the extra deck, we're running the Fiendsmith package. So we have the 1 Desiree, the Requiem, the Moon, the Sequence, the Agnum Day, the Necroquip, and the Caesar. So we are running the full Fiendsmith package. If you don't want to run the Agnum Day, you could slide in a second Werewolf or switch into a bigger Nash Knight package. But I like the Agnum Day just to turn Desiree into a board breaker and to push for game. After that, we have our K9 cards. So we have our 2 Ripper. You could get away with just playing 1, but I like having the second one just for more follow-up. We have the 1 Jax. This card is great for breaking boards or for pushing for game. On summon, it lets you detach a card to pop a card on the field. And then anything that has it as material gets double battle damage. The turn that your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard. So you want to go into the werewolf with this just so you can do insane damage. After that, we have the 1 werewolf. Again, another card you could play at 2 if you wanted to. But this is just a quick effect on your opponent's turn to banish a card out of their hand until the end phase if they activate a monster effect in hand or graveyard. And then on your turn, it can banish a card on the field and or one in the graveyard. So great interruption on both turns. After that, for our rank 5, rank 5s, we're playing the Nash Knight. We're playing a really small package of just Nash Knight plus a number monster to go under it, just so we can get the 1 steal. And then we're playing the 1 Valon. So if we end on the Nash Knight, we can still go into an interruption with our Azuna and our Lupus. In this video, I'm just playing best of 1s, but you know, for side deck, you can kind of side deck whatever you want. Board breakers are really great right now. Lancia is still good for Malice. Dark Ruler or Droplet or board wipes do really well into K9 VS, K9 Crystron, or into Yummy. K9 Crystron is going to have probably the most layered interruptions just because of the inclusion. Or Yummy with the surprise, but Dark Ruler or Raigeki kind of handles most of the interaction. So that's the deck profile, and now we will jump into a combo guide. All right, jumping into our 1-card Nori combo. They have to have 2 cards in hand, so remember that, just to get that normal summon. So we summon out Jokul, we go into the Ripper, we search Case of K9, we go Case of K9 effect, search Izuna, Lantern, bring back Jokul, Lantern effect, search the rank up, and then we just go into our Moon, Requiem, Lacrima, and then we have our Necroquip into our Engraver, into our Caesar. So with this, we're sitting on the Ripper negate, the Caesar double summon negate, the rank up pop, and then the Werewolf hand rip till end phase. Plus we have 4 other cards in hand, or 5 other cards in hand, excuse me. Plus the Izuna to send the Lupus to rank up into a Nash Knight if they activate an effect in the hand or graveyard. So that's our 1-card Nori combo. Let's jump into the next combo. All right, next combo. This is going to be if you open Jokul plus another level 5. So we go Jokul, summon Jokul, or whatever level 5. We search the Nori summon. We summon out the Izuna. We go Izuna, dump the Lupus. Then we go into a Ripper. Search Case of K9. And then we go into our Fiendsmith combo. So Moon to Requiem to Lacrima. Lacrima, dump the Engraver. Go into the Necroquip. Bring out the Engraver. Overlay into the Caesar. And now we search our Lantern. Lantern effect, summon back the Nori. And then from here, you can use Nori's effect to look at their hand, or you can keep the Case of K9 if you prefer the attack boost. We use Lantern effect, search the rank up spell. So now we're sitting on 2 summon negates with the Caesar, a suck up with the Nash Knight. That could also be an Umbra Horror Masquerade if you prefer and if you play it. Then we have the negate with Ripper, the rank up with the pop, and then the Werewolf hand rip, while we also have Lacrima in the graveyard to send the Paradise, to send the Desiree. So we're sitting on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interruptions just off the 2 Jokul, or the Jokul plus another level 5. And then we also have 3 other cards in hand. All right, so jumping into the last combo, this is going to be Nori plus an Engraver or a Tract. So we go Nori, summon out the Jokul. Jokul search Lantern, overlay into the Ripper. Ripper, search the Case of K9. Case of K9, search the Izuna. Lantern to bring back the Nori. And then we can look at their hand here, or we can keep the Case of K9, whichever one we value more. We search the rank up spell, go into a Nash Knight. Then Engraver effect, search the Tract. Tract, dump the Lurie. Lurie effect, go into the Requiem. Requiem, summon Lacrima. Lacrima, dump the Paradise since the Engraver's already engraved. We bring the Engraver back. Equip the Requiem, go into a Necroquip, and then overlay into the Caesar. And we do this in the top zone just so we have space to play, because we want to bring back the Lacrima from the graveyard, so that's going to be 1 space. And then we also need space for Izuna and Lupus to go into our Valon. So with this, we have the Ripper negate, the 2 Caesar negates, the Nash Knight suck up, the rank up pop, the Werewolf hand rip, Lacrima in the grave for the Paradise, and then Izuna, dump the Lupus, Lupus come back, and then to the Valon, Book of Moon. All right, so let's jump into some games. All right, jumping into game 1. We win the dice roll. So we open with Jokul. We go Jokul, summon out Azuna effect, dump Lupus, and then he Valors that. Then we go Jokul effect, he Ashes it, and then we go into a Ripper effect. We search Case of Canine, we set our quick play spell, we set the non-pop one just because we already have the one in hand, and then we go Lantern, bring back the Azuna, and then we go Lantern effect, search another Case of Canine for follow-up, and then we go into a Nash Knight. So we're protected from Nib, so he goes Nib, we negate it, then we normal summon Lacrima, dump the Engraver, shuffle back the Lacrima to bring the Engraver back, and then chain Requiem to bring the Lacrima back out. And then we go into the Necroquip, and then we go into our Caesar, and we put it in the top zone. That way we can bring our Lacrima back and then still have the 2 zones if we need them. We don't have an Azuna in hand, but it's just good practice. So he starts off with Maiden. Then we just we go into Lacrima so we can dump the Paradise. Because the Paradise is just going to check the True Light. Or we just go to the rank up spell, rank up into the Werewolf, and then pop the True Light that way. And then now we have the Paradise for whatever special summon he uses. He goes for Roar. We just negate it with the Caesar. And then he's thinking. He goes to the next phase, passes turn, and then we just go battle. We have game on board just because of the rank up spell that works in battle phase. So we go 33, 28, 17, and we could have flipped the Lacrima to attack, but there's no point. We can just go into a Jax or a Ripper and just attack for game. So jumping into the next game, we lose the dice roll, which is kind of good we do because we open up multiple Charmies. He's playing some Battle and Boxers. I don't know. It doesn't do a whole lot. I just put this in here just to show that this deck does all right against random rogue strategies. So we double Fua him. He goes into the Dempsey. We just imperm it. He sets 1, sets 2, has 1 card in hand. And then we top deck the Chaotic Elements. We just shoot a Fua just because, no reason not to. It's just a dead card in our hand. We don't need discards. So we go Jokul, summon Jokul. And then from here we search our Nori. Then we go Tribute summon Nori because he doesn't have 2 cards in hand, but we get the net positive because we go from 2 bodies to 3. So it feels alright. We bring out Azuna, dump the Lupus. And he chains Book of Eclipse. We have the Ash Blossom for it. Even if we didn't, we would still have plenty of pushes. So from here, we are K9 locked. So we go into the Ripper, which is good to do just in case he has a nib, but he does imperm nib, which is fine. Like I said, we still have pushes here, so it's not a big deal. And then we have a giant token. So we go Lantern. We bring back the Jokul. Then we go Lantern effect. We get the rank up spell because we're just going to try to push for game. We go into a Jax. We pop the Nibiru. We bring back Lupus, and that's just game. But if he didn't scoop there, we could just attack with the Jax, rank up into the Werewolf, do double damage, and attack multiple times. So we start this game, start with Nori. He ashes it. We chain Lupus, and he chains a Perulia, which I'm surprised he held on to the Perulia past the draw phase. We go into a Ripper, set the quick play, search Case of Canine. And now I'm thinking on the best way to do this. If I want to go Jokul, summon Lantern, or if I just want to go into Azuna. So I just decide that we are gonna go Lantern Jokul, get 2 bodies for only 1 draw on him. And then we proceed to just go Fiendsmith combo. And we hold the Azuna in hand for his turn if he activates anything. So we just go into the Caesar. We put him in the top zone just because it's good practice. And we're sitting on a nib with the Ripper. So I feel okay. He Fuas. I just decided to negate it because we do have the 2 summon negates from Caesar plus the Lacrima Engrave, plus the Azuna, plus the nib. So I don't want to give him more cards to push with. He goes 7th Tachyon, searches the X, sends the Aggregator. He negates the Desiree. Desiree. He negates the Caesar. That's fine. So now my only job right now is to keep him off 2 bodies, 2 level 4s, just so he does not go Exciton Knight. So we go ahead and push for Lacrima. He calls by the Requiem, which is fine. Like I said, we still have plenty of interactions here. We're just burning cards out of his hand. He goes Sword, and I'm thinking if I what I want to do here. I decide to just go ahead and rank up into the Jax with the non-pop to get a pop from Jax. So we pop the Sword. So he's sitting on 3 cards in hand. He goes Anamana Pia to search 2 Onomat cards by pitching the star. So we go Izuna and Lupus, and then we're just gonna go into the Nash Knight. Like I said, right now the goal is just to keep him off bodies. He goes Dododo Warrior. I'm double checking that Glove can only come back if they have a Onomat card, which is true. So now we just pull the Dododo Warrior off field. He goes into the Gambara Knight, and then we just pop it before he can bring the Glove back with the Werewolf. And then he held out pretty well. He has the last card in hand being Ice, which is fine because we have the Nibiru. And then we just drop the token. I don't know if he should have surrendered there. He banished my Requiem, so it was going to be hard for me to out that token. I could have done it, just gone into a sequence, and then just equipping the sequence to the Engraver. It just would have been a lot to do. I don't know if I could have pushed for game there. And now we're going against Hekaclad, Hekahand. This deck is annoying. I'll tell you right now, I do not win this one. I just wanted to show it, just because this deck, one of the main things that I want to talk about with this deck is you cannot normal summon if they do not keep more than 2 cards in their hand. And so that's the problem I have here, is I'm just staring at cards that do nothing. So just be wary of that when you're going second. So next game, we go Jokel, summon Lupus. We try to Jokel effect, he negates it. That's fine. We just go into a Ripper. We search Case of Canine. We go Case of Canine effect. And I believe we search Nori. Yep, we search Nori. We go Nori effect. Thinking on what to do here. We bring out Azuna just so we can get the other Lupus out of deck. And then we look at his hand. He has a pretty strong hand. But I know he doesn't have a ton of pushes. So we just negate the bell. And then that turns on our Lupus in the graveyard. And then he just surrenders. Alright, next game. We got Jokel summoning out Lantern. We go Lantern effect, search Case of Canine. And then we have Jokel effect to search the Nori. And then from here we normal summon the Nori. We bring out the Azuna, dump the Lupus. And then since we are K9 locked, as long as they are on field, we search the case, or we sit in the Case of K9, look at the hand. We see he has a talents, so it kind of changes my plays a little bit here. So we go into the Moon, Requiem, bring out Lacrima. Lacrima dump the Engraver, bring the Engraver back. And now I'm kind of thinking, do I go Caesar? But just because of the talents, I decided to switch into a Desiree line, just to check the talents. So then we go in Agnum Day. Agnum Day, bring back the Desiree, equip the sequence so it can't be targeted. And then we go Lantern, bring back the Jokel. And then we go into our Nash Knight. And then we have an Ash and a Nib in hand. So I'm feeling pretty confident. And just because I know what he has in his hand. So he brings out the Fenrir. I just go ahead and suck it up immediately. I don't want it banishing any of our cards. He has a Scare Claw. He goes into the Link 1. We Ash it. He changed the Lupus, which is fine. Lupus on his own really doesn't do much. So we go Zuna, bring back the Lupus, and then we go into, or we attempt to go into our Nash Knight. So that's the games for this deck. Deck's super fun. I don't think it's the strongest deck out there, but it is definitely fun. Definitely better with Nori than without. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.